Oliver Barnes joins me now. He is the U.S. pharmaceutical and biotech correspondent for the Financial Times and co-author of that piece. Oliver, thanks for being here. What do you know about those discussions and what came of them?
Yeah, well, what was striking, of course, about the murder of Brian Thompson last Wednesday was he didn't have any security attachment with him as he walked to the hotel in Midtown Manhattan. And I think what that killing has provoked is thoughts amongst chief security officers at some of the biggest companies in the US and overseas about whether or not the security detail that executives has is sufficient. And there are companies like Meta, which spend tens of millions of dollars each year on securing the safety of their chief executives. And there are others who spend considerably less. And I think it's those kind of companies now which have been reassessing their plans in recent days.
I want to go over some of those companies in a minute, but do we know why Thompson didn't have security?
We don't. I mean, what we know is that United, in its proxy filings, talks about how its group CEO, Andrew Whitty, who used to run GSK, the pharmaceutical company in the UK, Andrew Whitty is encouraged to use a private jet for business travel and also leisure travel, and that's on the basis of personal security. But it doesn't go into any further detail about the costs and measures provided to Mr. Whitty or indeed Mr. Thompson and other executives at United.
So what are some of the changes to corporate security that may come out of all this, and which companies are already spending a lot of money to protect their executives?
I mean, I've been speaking to a bunch of CSOs, the chief security officers, in recent days. And what you hear is that all of them are reviewing plans and all of them are going to bolster the amount of money that they spend on this and the urgency with which they address this issue. And it's kind of interesting to look, for instance, at what some of the COVID vaccine makers, such as Pfizer and Moderna, both of which have been targeted by a lot of online hate and conspiracy theory off the back of the pandemic, did following the pandemic. They both massively upped their spend. Both of them spend over $1 million each on the security for their chief executives. And I would suspect that that money that's being spent at the moment by big pharma groups that have been targeted by all these online threats during the pandemic, a lot of other companies, healthcare companies, insurers, others would now be considering the need for those, despite the fact they haven't always been in the crosshairs as such of online conspiracy and threats.
Oliver Barnes, thank you so much.
Thanks.